Welcome back to the channel. This is Jonesy in the car, out and about, dressed in his fabulous yellow shirt on a big roundabout. Let's go. Blinker on, turning into the fast lane and then trying to get into the slow lane because everybody's in a hurry. Okay, we've done that section well. It's wet and slippery. The red car's already changed. I'm going to. Thank you, Mr. Red Car. That's one thing I want to talk about is how the world is changing around us. How everybody seems to be more concerned about what's going on in different parts of the world and not concerned about what's going on in their own backyard. And things like this have to change. Back in the days before mobile phones, before that instant gratification of finding something you want to shout from the rooftops in your hands, you used to buy a newspaper, you used to read a column. That was somebody's interpretation of what they wanted you to hear. You used to go home and watch the news, and it was whatever the TV stations, producers wanted you to hear, see, look at, take their opinions. Today, it's just you look for who you want to hear, and you listen, and everyone goes, "That's the truth." Well, the truth is in many forms, and if people of today with this instant gratification, it's doing your head in. Think back to your I'm in my 60s. Think back to your grandparents when they grew up. It was all about their local community. It was all about your next door neighbours, your friends down the club, your friends down at the pub. If they needed a hand, someone reached out and helped. There was no GoFundMe and people from all around the world were throwing money at you because it was, if you needed a meal cooked, one of your neighbours would cook you a meal. If you needed a cup of tea or sugar or milk, your neighbours would help you. We've lost all that. In the major cities anyway. I'm hoping the country towns that I used to live in are still like that. I haven't been back to one of them for 20 years, yeah. But just thinking about these things as I'm cruising around, heading home, I'm just thinking, what's the world coming to? Why can't people waving flags in a major city like half a world away? Worry about your own backyard. Worry about your own local politicians. What are they doing for you? How are they making your life better? Why is our electricity bill skyrocketing? Why is the food so dear to buy? Why does petrol fluctuate so much? And here's a crazy idea. Here's something that's really crazy. Friends of mine live in Sydney where there's an oil refinery. So they're making fuel. Fuel in that town costs more than it does here. Here, all of our fuel, our diesel, our petrol, and gas all comes from ships. So the ships are going to bring it from wherever to the island of Tasmania. And how does that make it cheaper? Then it's got to get transported in trucks. I don't know. Why is the world gone that crazy? Well, and why is springtime in Tasmania so freaking wet? As you can hear, the rain's hitting the windscreen. Yeah, so what I'm saying in this video is that the youth of today, right, the 15 and 16 year olds and even the 17-year-olds going through their high school, trying to get into university or trying to get an apprenticeship somewhere, all watching their little device like this all day, every day, swiping away. If they're holding their device, I hope they're watching Radio Jonesy, that's all I have to say. But in reality, when we were kids, when I was 15, I was running around down the park, riding bikes, trying to find a motorbike to ride, hanging out with friends, playing music, going swimming down the local swimming pool, swimming the creek down the the local river, and then swinging off a rope, and just having fun. Today's kids have got their, I'm not blaming the kids, I'm just saying society of today, it's got this instant gratification. Like, who has left their house without their phone and then gone, oh my, you know what, I can't continue on my day, I have not got my phone. Like, that's happened to them. That happened to me 2 days ago. I drove out of the house. I need my phone to do some paperwork where I do some work, because it's all done with stupid apps. I'm 15 minutes down the road. Yeah, bugger it. I don't need my phone. And I've gone to work, done my thing, told the bloke I left my phone at home. He's looked at me in complete amazement. You haven't got your phone. I said, no, I haven't got my phone. Was there a problem? Well, how do you know where you're going to be working tomorrow? Well, I'll have a look when I go home. They can ring me up. I don't really care. I don't want to work tomorrow. All these crazy people of today. Anyway, the younger kids of today, I've got a grandson in that sort of boat. He's got his phone. It's his communication to the world. It's maybe I sound like a grumpy old man, but it's the connection of meeting someone and realizing you like them as a friend, or geez, that guy's a wanker, or an idiot, or a fool, I'm not going to be hanging around with him. Well, they don't sort of get that these days, because everybody's sort of linked into a social network of friends, and they, I see you done this and I see you done that, and they're sort of not really meeting the person for real. They're sort of seeing this fake Facebook or this fake Instagram personality instead of actually meeting the person. That's all I want to say. What's the world going to be in another 50 years? We're going to have implants, you'll be wearing these glasses, but they'll be recording digital footprints of where you're going, who you're looking at, how fast is the car going, did you do an illegal turn? You're gonna get fined for that. Or you're gonna lose. Oh, jeez, people pulling out in front of me. Has to be a tourist. I was gonna say terrorist. Here I go. I'm gonna do no. I need to get in that next lane across. So I'm in a 3-lane highway. I'm gonna see where the gap is when we come from this set of traffic lights. But hey, how is the world in your eyes? Do you see hope for your grandkids? Do you see hope for your children? Is housing out of reach? All these issues, you know, for today's kids. You know, just meeting someone who's real. Here we go, nice little, what's that thing? Looks like a Toyota, but I don't think it is. Must be a Japanese import. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sounding like a grumpy old man. Maybe I am. All I know is that my grandfather used to shower me with wisdom every time I spoke to him. You know, he was always telling me cold hard truths. You know, like, and I won't share them here, but it's just, I think that's lost in today's society. Anyway, this is just an old bloke rambling as he's driving his car, thinking of all these things. Yep, thinking of all these things. Anyway, leave a comment. Tell me what's your thoughts about. You know, has the mobile network, like the mobile phone internet network, has that ruined today's society? Has that made us a better society? You know, like, if you could go back in time and have these devices banned and not be legal, you know, thinking that's going to ruin, you know, like the old saying, if you could go back in time and shoot Hitler, would you? Like, if you could go back in time and stop mobile devices being invented when you had to actually have a hard copy phone. Remember those days? You had to walk around to a phone box if you wanted to make a phone call. You had to physically remember people's phone numbers. You had to either have them written down in a notebook or remember them up there in that computer right there. Anyway, I'm here where I have to be. Tell me what you think in the comments. Am I just a whinging old man, or am I hitting something on the head? I just wish that our kids of the future will get to have that lifestyle that we had when we were kids, where you met someone, you shook their hand, you hung out with them, didn't worry about what's going on every 5 seconds. Look at this. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, swipe, swipe, swipe. Ooh, look at this. Like, attention spans. That's just, is that me? Am I seeing this with blinkers? I'm obviously missing the good points. There's obviously good points of having mobile devices, but go back to the old days. Anyway, I'd like to find that dimension. There must be a dimension out there. Someone please zap me to it. Alright, until we meet again, this is Jonesy. Ciao.